Hey everybody. So I've been talking and thinking about doing this for a long time, making YouTube videos. Um, so tonight I'm going to be making my first YouTube video, just kind of talking. Um, I recently had some stuff kind of come up and happen within my personal life that have really, I don't know, I guess really pushed me to make this video. Just a lot of like realizations within like the last month before making this and really thinking about it and talking about it to the few people that are a part of my life. So, yes, for some of those that don't understand, yes, I am a full quad. You can see I don't have really triceps, but I do have some function that did come. My hands are paralyzed. My paralysis line starts at about right here, skin sensation wise. Um, So within like the last month, it's been crazy. I have had some heart problems and some issues within the last year since um, I want to say like the day or night of a friend's funeral when I found out my grandfather was going to be going through chemo again, and he was really the only dad that I really ever had. Um, the only really real father figure that I really had growing up and throughout my life that really taught and instilled a lot of things inside me. Um, so, November of last year, I had a friend that had actually committed suicide, and his funeral was like on a Friday or a Saturday. I want to say a Friday. And my grandfather had went and battled chemo for 2 years. And that Friday or that Monday, they took the port out of his chest so that he didn't have to do chemo anymore. He was cancer free. And that Friday, his doctor called and said that, you know, he was going to have to get the port put back in and start chemotherapy again, that his cancer cells were back and had doubled. Well, that night, I noticed a lot of things that just did not feel right with my heart and my chest, and they progressively got worse as it worked up towards the time of my grandfather passing. And I started to notice it when I'd be over at my grandma's house after he had passed, or in other little stressful situations, that my heart would do certain things or change. And I saw a few different cardiologists that here in the state of New Mexico basically said that there was nothing they could do for me because it was related to my spinal cord injury with autonomic dysreflexia. For those of you that don't know what that is, you should check it out. There's a lot of ignorance in spinal cord injuries or people that are in wheelchairs, and it's kind of frustrating. So, going through the beginning of this 2020 crazy fucking year, um, yeah, I saw a few different cardiologists, and then it led up to more bleeding internally and externally that I've been going through ever since I've been a quadriplegic. It's weird how much blood I had lost within the last 6 years, and I was just waiting for the day that, you know, something happened or something unfortunate, but it's one of the many things that have come along with being a quadriplegic. I get blisters on my hands and on different spots of my body. As you can see, that one's like healed up right there. That I've showed doctors and they just don't know why, can't figure it out why. But it's crazy because within the last month, I went to an event here in the state of New Mexico that's called No Coast, and this was my second year going, and I had the time of my life, and it's crazy being in a wheelchair. The people that you would think that you never even be a part of, like, they'd be a part of your life, and then they turn out being some of the nicest people that you come across. And I got 2 ride-alongs this last year in No Coast, and I had the time of my life. It was an adventure and experience that I'll never forget, and an unforgettable experience. And I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie, and I could talk about that more in some other videos, and I might talk about it if I make some more videos. But it's crazy because the weekend that I went to No Coast, I got a call from my doctor that next Friday, and her nurse is like, because I've been doing blood tests ever since they've been watching my heart and stuff, so I get a call from my doctor, and her nurse is like, look, we got your blood test results back. And I had to do them twice because the first time they saw some stuff that, like, we want you to go back and get them done again. So I went back, got my blood test done again, and my doctor called me. This is 1 week from riding in a car, drifting on a track, and in 2 cars, one on the track, one on this giant piece of asphalt that they call the skid pad, which I'll probably upload the video of some one of the ride-alongs that I got to participate in. And this, I got to ride with 2 guys named Mike, and they were really cool guys. But yeah, I got a call, and my doctor's nurse tells me, we got your blood tests back, and you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, go to the hospital? And she's like, yeah, your body is so low on blood that any sort of small stress could make your heart explode because it's not working properly with the amount of blood that's already in your body. And I was like, thinking to myself, like, if you only fucking knew that I was like having the time of my life with my heart pounding the weekend before, you calling me, like, how is this possible? So after she tells me everything, I was like, well, what's the point of me going to the hospital? I was thinking to myself, like, I'm fine, I feel fine, like, I've been going about life, like, I got my normal daily struggles and things that are uncomfortable or things that make me feel sick. And I just thought I just ignored all signs, being somebody that tries to push through daily, and it's been kind of dangerous. But she tells me everything, and I'm like, well, what's the point of going to the hospital? What are they going to do for me? Because the hospital's here in the state of New Mexico anytime that I've had to go. Don't even know some of the things that are needed for care for a quadriplegic or a paraplegic even. And so then the nurse is like, well, hold on. And the doctor gets on the phone, and she's like, hey, why are you giving my nurse such a hard time? And I'm like, I'm really not trying to give your nurse a hard time, doctor. I'm sorry, because my doctor's awesome. She's been with me for years. I've had some horrible doctors and some really cool doctors. And it's sad just like how much people don't really actually know about spinal cord injuries, even in the medical field. And so my doctor is like explaining everything that's going on and how my blood is like really low and my blood count's low, and basically stating like something could go wrong and really bad like at any moment. And it became pretty emotional pretty quick, and it was in the morning on a Friday morning. And if it wasn't for my caretaker being there, I probably would not have gone, because I think she kind of saw my reaction of how emotional I got quick, and I could kind of see the emotion in her face and the fear. But my doctor basically was like, look, if you promise to go down to the hospital, I promise to do a doctor-to-doctor visit so that I can give them all the information, that they don't have to run all these different tests to see what's wrong with you, and you can get your blood transfusion and go home. So I did. I spent a couple hours in the hospital. My caretaker, she's an angel. She spent the day with me and the time with me there. It's crazy. I could do more videos about how people that I never expected to be in my life, never expected them to be in my life and actually being a part of my life more than some people that I thought would be there. But I guess that's a part of learning of who's really there for you, growing up and growing into maturity and stuff. I just seen this post on Facebook that says your maturity grew by age, mine grew by pain. Well, I can't say that my maturity all grew by pain, but it did grow by a lot of experiences that I had to endure in life, especially being alone a lot. Basically, when you're walking, you get a lot of interaction from friends, family, or just people that you hang out with on a daily basis. Sometimes, like at least on a weekly basis, of just people that you hang out with or you visit. Being in a wheelchair, my most interaction is with my caretakers. I don't have people that consistently go by or come by or want to hang out. And if it is, then it's people that I have to go and see. I go to where they're at, and I am appreciative of that. I mean, I am definitely understandable for certain situations on that behalf. And for the people that do care about me, that I do go hang out with, and I see the love and I see the caring, and I definitely do. So I appreciate that. But after the whole blood transfusion thing, my doctor wanted to keep a close eye on things that were going on. And I basically got a call maybe a week or two after saying that, with my doctor telling me that I'm iron deficient. And I didn't really understand what that means. And basically that my blood cells, the red blood cells, don't reproduce, and my body doesn't create the blood that it needs to. And during this whole process, I've had like these weird skin sores on my bottom and stuff that have had drainage and just never seem like they're healing. Well, it's because my body wasn't making the right red blood cells to produce the right type of healing that your body needs. So after finding out that I'm iron deficient and that I'm going to be on this medication that she prescribed me basically for the rest of my life, I started to really pay attention to like the things that my body was feeling and telling me as a spinal cord injury survivor that were really different and very unique, that I could feel with my heart, blood pressure wise, nauseation, vision and stuff like that. So after finding out that I'm iron deficient, still doing blood tests, about a week later, I started making the right precautions to go see my spinal cord specialist in Colorado because of everything that's been going on. My stool turned black, almost as black as my hat, and that was a big concern. It was really scary, especially after a friend of mine had told me that that's like really toxic waste that your body's trying to get rid of. Well, then about a week later, after being put on that medication and everything like that happening, I'm making all the right precautions to go to Colorado, and the nurse from Colorado tells me, what are some of your main concerns? And I'm talking about the different things that I really want addressed when I go to see my spinal cord specialist in Colorado next month. And I'm telling her all these signs and symptoms that I've been having with my urine, and she basically tells me that I have purple bag syndrome, and that it's very, very common with people with indwelling catheters. So then when I told my primary physician, she was like totally understanding about it, and we kind of looked it up together in the doctor's office. And basically nobody knows what causes it or what to do to treat it. Nobody actually knows. Um, so yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride 2020 besides COVID, and the struggle between caretakers. I mean, it's a high turnover rate. You never know. I've had people stay with me for years, and then people that last a day in my total quadriplegic experience. Um, so yeah, to those of you that don't know every little aspect of my life, which really isn't a lot because the people that are here on a daily basis, my caretakers, in and out, day in and out, I'm thankful for these angels because without them, I don't have a life. I don't. I don't have this apartment. I can't drive. I be in a nursing home for the rest of my life. Um, so yeah, I just want to thank everybody that's been a part of my life, or even been in my life, or even if it's a day or ride along in a car. Thank you guys, and here's some information about me and some of the struggles that I go through as a quadriplegic, bleeding 6 years going on. Skin sores, that's been kind of a huge new thing to me within like the last year. I got my first major one last November. On top of all that, like dealing with 2 lawyers from a car accident that I was in last year, one, and then another lawyer that I'm dealing with disability rights. That's like a huge struggle in the state that I live in. There are so many things that insurance and the state pushes for me to have in place to safely be living, but none of them are state laws and regulations. There's no state ordinance code on any of the laws that they try to pronounce or push forward on me. And according to my spinal cord injury specialist in Colorado, I don't need those things that insurance in the state tries to push forward. I have a nurse, and so yeah, these are some things about my life. You know, I know definitely a spinal cord injury did change my life. I had already kind of had a few accidents before my spinal cord injury that really started to open my eyes and change me in ways that I never thought I would or could change, and it's actually for the better. I appreciate it, the learning experience, and yeah. So there's a little update on how I'm doing and some information. Thank you guys. Let me know what you think. I'm probably going to try and make more of these. I'm not sure exactly how often, but if you guys comment and let me know what you think and what you guys would like for me to talk about as a quadriplegic, I greatly appreciate it.